So, however, if I can get away with it. Oh, come on. Oh, I I'm not I'm not a strong enough climber to climb over the gates. So I am gonna have to sleep here. Awakening as the sun begins to rise. It's a very rude awakening, however. What do you think this is, a rest home? Get to work now! So you immediately get to work. So that's how that works out. Okay. So to make sure that doesn't happen again, I'm actually going to practice my climbing here. Like I'd said before, it's going to help out my stamina points. It's obviously going to help me improve my climbing, which will help me if I want to just like climb over the wall at night. I don't know how much it'll do for everything else though, so we'll see. Up the tree, down the tree, up the tree, down the tree. And that's something interesting about Quest for Glory, is that it levels things that you do. Very similar to Morrowind and the other Elder Scrolls games. The more that you actually use a skill, the more that it will give you those skill points. Whereas if you're playing a game like Fallout, I can be using small guns a lot of the time, but it's only when I level up and I voluntarily put points there that I get points. For all intents and purposes, I could just small guns my entire way through Fallout, and then I could put my points into energy weapons, even though I didn't shoot with an energy weapon whatsoever. So, Quest for Glory, the Elder Scrolls are a bit different in that regard. They will let you level up what you've actually used. I mean, there's some good things about that, and there's also some bad things about it. Depending on the role-playing game, like pen and paper role-playing games that are out there, depending on the GM that you're playing with, they may have similar avenues. Like when I GM or storytell, I should say, Vampire the Masquerade or any other old World of Darkness games, I have this rule that if your character either has to have used that skill a lot in the meantime in order to level it up, or if it's something that they've never really used a lot of, they need to spend time in game where they invest time into getting better at whatever skill they want. So, for example, if they have a brawling character and they go into a lot of hand-to-hand combat and they do fight on a regular basis or have training that they do every single day, then it's very easy for me to say, yeah, you can put another point into your brawl. However, if, let's say, linguistics, if they don't use linguistics a lot, then I'm going to say, well, how are you going to get that point of linguistics? You're not speaking any new languages. You're not putting a lot of research time in. So I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I do something very similar in my games. So here I've been climbing. I'm all the way up to 48 already. And it does look like I'm also getting points in strength, agility, vitality, and luck. So that's pretty slick. Oh, I have flowers from around this piece, don't I? Yep. Let me go ahead and turn those in. Here's the flowers. And do some more climbing. So, one thing that I like about the Quest for Glory series is that there's more than one way to solve any particular puzzle. This one, for example, in getting the ring from the healers, there are 3 different ways in which you can solve the puzzle. The first one, which is the one that I used, is fighter-centric, which is keep throwing rocks, and eventually one of the rocks will hit the bird's nest, and the bird's nest will fall. Very warrior-centric. The second one is thief-centric, which is the one that I'm doing right now, which is practice climbing a tree until you can actually get to the top of the tree. And then you would actually edge out to where the nest is, and then pick up the ring. The third way is mage-centric, and the mage has a spell called Fetch. And so you cast the Fetch spell, and it will actually go to the nest, it will grab the ring, and then it will it doesn't just grab the ring, it actually grabs the entire nest, fetches the nest to your location, you grab the ring, and then you just basically throw the nest on the ground. So it's rather interesting that of all the solutions that you could do, the thief actually is the least disturbing to Terry's home. Because if you're a fighter or a mage, you're wrecking the nest. But the thief just climbs up, deftly picks up the ring from the nest, and then just climbs down again. So, who do you think is the most moral in this case? Is it the thief, the fighter, or the mage? And it's really interesting to think that of all 3 of the archetypes, it's the thief in this example that's actually that they have the most scruples. Something that's normally known for stealing things from other people, and in this case, it's actually making sure that Terry the Pterosaur still has his home intact. Okay, so now I'm exhausted, everything hurts. So now I'm going to rest again. I can do a lot of resting here. It's actually going to let me do it twice. And if we look at my score, now I'm at 65 climbing, and then my strength, my agility, my vitality, and luck are still climbing up. What time is it? It is mid-afternoon. This is probably going to be one of the most boring sections of this playthrough. Is basically climbing up and down this tree, up and down this tree. So if anyone wants to say anything in chat, now's a good time. Good time for human interaction. Well, I may use this time to talk about I was a little late to stream today, but I had a really good reason. I was out to lunch with some of my friends, and I live in the Denver metro area, and we went to this one place called Tocabe, Tocabe, and it's a Native American eatery, very similar to Chipotle, where there are 3 different ways that you can start your entree, and then you basically put things on it. So the 3 different things that you could have were either like Indian fry bread. You could do like this grilled flatbread type of thing, and then a third thing that you could choose is basically a bed of tortilla chips. I chose the Indian fry bread, and then you choose the meat that you want, you choose the beans that you want, and then whatever toppings you want on it. I think the different meats that they had were they had like ground beef, grilled chicken, ground bison and shredded bison. So I chose the shredded bison because it sounded really interesting. And it was actually quite delicious. And I chose black beans for my beans, and then they had all these things you could put on it. So I put on tomatoes. They had this hominy salsa that was really interesting, so I chose that as well. I'm a sucker for any hot foods, so I had them put on whatever hot sauce they had. And then they had this really good, it was like an ancho chipotle sauce that they basically kind of like swirled it all across the top, and it was absolutely delicious. The fry bread is so soft and delicate, but it holds up well against everything that you put on the top of it. So if you're in the Denver metro area, or you know that you're going to be there at some point, I would highly recommend going there. It was really, really good. And they are vegetarian friendly. I have a friend that was there, and they're vegetarian, and instead of having the meat, they gave them the choice of like two different types of beans, and they pretty much they were very friendly towards saying exactly what was in any given part of what they were serving. So that was really cool of them to do. So my stamina kind of sucks right now, but I do not. I can rest, but I cannot sleep, because if I sleep, I'm gonna die. And I can actually show that right here. So what happens if I try and sleep all night? So it'll kill you if you do that, so can't quite do that. I think I'm gonna go up to Rana's Peace because I want to go there anyway to get more flowers. Because that's basically a free gold coin. Because you do 2 groups of flowers, each group is worth 5 silvers. See if I can eat the fruit. Yep. So basically satisfies your sleep and your food, and you get a gold. So it's a really good place to go to. I think it's only here and the inn that when you sleep you'll actually be fully refreshed. But I can't be quite certain. I know that the inn definitely refreshes you completely. Okay. So there's that. So let's see how we fare against the Goblin Brigade. No, I'm not interested in fighting that Saurus yet. The Saurus, even though it's easy to kill and gives you some practice, it doesn't give you any gold. Or silver, or basically anything. Come on. Did it freeze up? What the hell's going on? This hasn't happened before. That's really cute, isn't it? Okay. Yep, that's not working. Alright, let's try this again. I mean, I've had some very strange things happening in Sierra games. But I don't think I've had anything like that happen in quite a while. Okay, so the day is dawning. I haven't lost too much time. Let's get to running. Sierra adventure games are actually quite notorious for running out of memory at very interesting